shortest body chasing the truth.
So let's listen to Andrew Tate go on one of his rants about ice baths.
Get in the cold. I think it's only 3 degrees outside. So I'm doing my cold exposure in a hot tub. Top G, obviously. Where's my cigar? Good. You're interrupting my Tate speech, but you're forgiven.
Huh?
Shh. My turn. All right, wait over there.
Somebody better check her ID, make sure she's of age, but let's get into the video.
So, I see a lot of people online talking constantly. Woman. This is going to be the weirdest Tate speech ever. Go get me another lighter.
Give me that one.
The blue flame one.
Blue flame.
Yes. I can't find the staff. So, I do my cold exposure in my hot tub because I'm top G and I do whatever I want. See a lot of people online talking constantly about how good it is to get in these ice baths and all these kind of things. And how it takes willpower and it's difficult. And I agree with you. It would take willpower and it would be difficult. Which is exactly why I say fuck no to all of that garbage. There's something about melanin. I'm half black, half white. Please understand. It makes you afraid of some things, but fearless in the face of others. I don't see any of my brothers out there, my black bredas, talking about how good it is to be cold. In fact, I only see them saying the opposite. And that's how I know that I have black blood in me. I do not see the benefits of sitting and shaking and freezing in ice. This can actually be extrapolated to a lot of things. Do you ever see black people swim with sharks? It's like, bro, I'm black. My life's extreme enough. Why the fuck am I going to go extreme sports? Rock climbing? Jumping out of a plane? This is all white people shit. White people love this. The cold, sharks. Nah. We're afraid of all those things. Now, we're not afraid of a shootout. Cool. We're calm under those pressures. White people are scared of that. But it's kind of the way it works. The reason I have such a problem with all of this cold exposure shit, even though I know it takes willpower, I know it'd be difficult, is threefold. One, I refuse to believe there's any benefit at all. When I was fighting professionally and I was genuinely hurt, I needed a warm bath, a warm bed, a warm chick. Here, 5 warm women. Who wants a cold bitch? No, hot ones. I needed warmth. Even when I injured myself, I never put ice on it. Ice it, put ice on it. Hasn't that been debunked? Someone at home can look this up. I think that's actually been debunked. I never believed that crap. You need to heat it up. Heat is power. I never...
Well, this is one of the few things I've actually agreed with him about. First of all, I hate the cold weather. I can't even describe how much I dislike the cold weather. I go out 5 days a week to train in the cold weather. And if there was ever anything that's close to hell on earth, would be when I first get out there, the first 45 minutes is dedicated to running long distance when it's 30 degrees outside or even colder by the beach. And it's absolute hell. So I couldn't agree more with what he's saying. You know, after I exercise outside, nothing is better than I come home and I get in a warm shower or lay in a warm bed. And Andrew, all these things with the bees and this and that, isn't this haram, right? Aren't you 1 minute you're a dedicated, devout Muslim, and anybody that says the type of things that you're saying, you call it haram, your new word that you probably just learned a week ago? I'm just curious.
Firstly, there's no benefit. It's just people trying to act tough. Which leads into the second one, which genuinely upsets me about all this cold exposure shit. Everything is just cope and is an excuse for being too pussy to get in the ring. I want the whole world to know that if you're afraid to fight, I know that you're afraid to fight. And there's nothing you can do that proves to me you're not afraid to fight besides fight.
Essentially years, like We gave
Kind
him
of
an
like
offer.
how Jake
Yeah,
Paul
there's
offered
one thing
you
to do.
$10
You
million
10 mil for
and your
Andrew,
brother
10 mil
$10
for
million
Tristan,
to fight
10 mil for
him
you,
and his brother.
10 mil for me.
You know, $20
And-
million
but here's what
more
they'll
than
say.
your whole
I
net
don't
worth.
need this for the money.
Your
You're gonna
compound
have to
has
slap
been valued at
$50 million for me
by
even to get out of bed.
DICOT.
But
Yeah,
but
Your
if you have
assets
money,
were a
if you
little
have
under
money, then why is
$11
it
million
about the
when
money?
What
it
if
was
there was a second?
So
Are you
you
guys
got
confident
offered
enough
to
so that
fight.
if they ask for something that was more than the money,
a fight
would
no
you guys be
longer
willing
than
to
5 or
devote
6
to that?
rounds?
What?
$10 million
have to-
each,
pink
and you
slips.
turned it down. So
no,
who's
you
really
guys
afraid?
have to
Who's
start to
who should
support
be
the
this
Tate
advice that you're
Academy.
giving,
All right, not
Andrew?
that.
Shouldn't
Not that.
you be
No,
giving
that.
this advice to you and Tristan? The reason why you don't want to fight the Paul brothers is, number one, you both would have to take steroid tests leading up to the fight, which we both know that you would fail. And on top of that, you know that you would lose and get knocked out to the shadow realms, and that would knock you down a couple pegs in the social media world.
You're not going to let me down twice now, are you?
And it's blue. Look.
Do you like ice baths?
No.
Is it
It
because
does.
you're white people?
No, I don't like no.
Okay. Wait. This Tate speech is very disjointed, but you're just going to have to fucking deal with it. Everything is cope for being afraid to fight. Not just ice baths, but ice baths are a perfect example of it. If you find some tough alpha male guy, he's tough, he's an alpha male, and he's a motivational speaker, and he talks about willpower. Ice baths are great because they're so difficult to do, and you get in there and it's cold, and I did 7 minutes. Why don't you just get in the cage and fight? You're such a fucking tough guy, go fight. Oh, you're afraid to fight, so now you're trying to prove you're not a pussy by doing ice baths. It's the same with everything. Triathlons.
You know, Andrew, I have a feeling you're directing this at Joe Rogan. The other day, you made a video, and you were happy that Rogan supposedly stuck up for you when you were beating Vivian, the 15-year-old girl that you met when she was 15, that you began to sex traffic and were beating her up. And Rogan kind of came to your defense a little bit. What's the matter? When you reached out to talk to him and fly to America to have a meeting so you could go on a show, he didn't respond. So now you're bashing, you know, people that take ice baths since Rogan is a big proponent to this and it's all over the internet. Are you mad, Mr. Tate, that maybe Rogan after the show went and did some research about you and what you really had going on with Vivian, where you've admitted on camera that you met her when she was 15 years old, an underage girl? So is this directed at Joe Rogan, Andrew?
I did a triathlon. Really? What'd you have to do? I had to ride my bike, then I had to run 20 miles, and I had to swim in a freezing cold river covered in shit. And I did all this, and it was so difficult. It took me 18 hours. It was so hard. Ironman, triple triathlon. You did all that to try and prove you're not a pussy, and I still think you're a pussy. What the fuck? What a fucking waste of time. You could have fought. You could have just had a MMA fight. It's only 3 5-minute rounds, 15 minutes.
Actually,
You wasted
years,
18
like-
hours.
Look at that. You just
We
said
gave him an offer.
3
Yeah, it's
5-minute
there's one-
rounds,
there's one thing to
15
do.
minutes.
10 mil for Andrew,
But
10
Jake
mil
Paul
for
offered you
Tristan,
$10 million
10 mil
for
for
that.
you.
That's more
10 mil
money
for
than you
me.
made in your entire kickboxing
But here's what they'll
career.
say. I don't need
That's
this for
more
the
money than
You're
your
gonna have to
entire net
slap
worth.
$50 million
And you turned it
for
down.
me even to
And
get out of
Tristan
bed.
turned it down.
But if you have money, if
I
you have
wonder
money,
why,
then why is
Andrew?
it about the money?
What if there was a
Taking
a
a L,
second? Are
sound
you guys
familiar?
confident enough?
So you're doing your
so
whole
that
big
if they
tough guy
ask for
speech
something
and you're
that
you're
was more
mocking
than
the
money,
average guy.
Would you guys be willing
But then
to devote
the
to
average
it?
guy is not going to get the same opportunity
You guys
as
have
you to fight for
pink
$10
slips.
million.
No. You guys
and you
have
turned
to,
it down, and you know
start
you turned the
to
fight down.
support the Tate Academy.
Oh,
Hours,
All
you
right,
still
not
looking a bitch? Talk about ice bath? I do ice bath every morning for my mental clarity. But then why are you fucking dumb? Because compared to me, you're fucking stupid. I'm here in a
Here
hot
we
tub.
go. Here we go.
Pussy. True or false? True. Ice baths are cope for men who are scared to fight, trying to act like they're tough. And you can tell because you can tell the exact character of the people who do the ice baths. Just look at them. Anyone who talk about an ice bath, look at them. They go to the gym, they try and train a bit, and they do their ice baths, and they talk about willpower, motivation, and they're married to some 7.
He's really mad. I'm telling you, after Rogan's last podcast and his little clique, Shab and them defending Tate, I guarantee you that Andrew was trying to get a hold of Joe Rogan to go on the Rogan experience, and his call didn't get returned or he was rejected and told no. And now Andrew's making this video. I would guarantee that's what this is about.
Yeah. Woo, I made it. Got a blowjob once. Great. Lame. So I don't like ice baths. I'm actually against them. Now, I know you people at home are going to say, but Andrew, in your infinite wisdom, you've made a mistake, which of course is impossible. And they're going to say, what about the UFC fighters who fight, who also swear by ice baths? And my answer to that is, you only know who these people are because they fight, not because they do ice baths. They decide to do an ice bath because they're also brave enough to fight, which gives them significance. You're allowed to do something stupid if you do something cool. You're allowed. I do some shit that's pointless, but I'm top G. I'm known for being top G. I'm the best man in the world, which means I can occasionally indulge in something dumb, like getting in the fucking freezing cold water for 6.5 minutes, timing myself. Imagine thinking this is cool. Hello. And then getting out and going, I feel great. Fucking, are you gay? Are you gay? Are you fucking, I don't get.
I really think his looming trial and the possibility to end up in prison for 10 to 20 years is really getting to him, because some of his rants lately, I mean, he's always been delusional and he's always been a liar, but they're just getting better and better before his trial.
I'm in a hot tub, I'm fine. I'll kick the fuck out of you. I will kick the living fuck out of you. These ice bath people, all these fucking, I'm not talking about
Wait, he'll say
years,
that about
like-
fighting no so-called
gave him an
nobodies
offer.
who've never fought
Yeah,
before.
there's
But
one
you
thing
won't
to do.
fight
10
Jake
mil
Paul?
for Andrew, 10 mil
How
for
come,
Tristan,
Andrew?
10 mil
How
for
come you
you,
won't fight Jake
10 mil
Paul?
for me, but here's what they'll say:
10 million bucks, you turn that down?
You're gonna have to
Right.
slap $50 million for me even to get out of bed.
the UFC fighters do ice baths. We just discussed how their only significance comes from the thing that's actually important, which is fighting, which is what the ice bath people wish they could do, but they're afraid to do. So instead they talk on Twitter about how they do ice baths. Every time I see these pussies, I'm just like, bro, there's no amount of ice baths you could get in that would stop me kicking the fuck out of you in front of your 7. So what are you doing? Just go do something real. Go fight.
Andrew, your kickboxing record, some of those dudes that you fought literally were like 4-51. So had the worst records of that it's possibly imaginable. You didn't fight in Pride. You didn't fight in UFC. You didn't fight in K1. You didn't fight in Thailand. You know, we can't say that you didn't fight, but to say that you fought the best competition would be an understatement. So why don't you step up in competition and fight Jake Paul? You know that the entire planet would watch the fight. Not only would you get $10 million, you'll get a cut of the pay-per-view. It'll be more money than you ever made in your entire life, and you're saying no, tough guy, right? You'll kick the F out of everybody. But you won't take your own advice. And not only did he offer you $10 million, he offered Tristan $10 million. So that's $20 million
Actually,
between
years,
both
like-
of you.
like,
You share
we
assets.
gave him an offer.
That's $20
Yeah,
million
There's one thing
plus
to do. You 10 can
points
mil for
from
Andrew,
the
10 mil
pay-per-view.
for Tristan, 10
And you
mil for
turn that
you,
money down?
10 mil for me.
Because you know you're going to lose.
But here's what they'll say:
And you know you
I
have to
don't
be
need
steroid
this for
tested.
the money.
leading up
You're
to the
gonna have
fight.
to slap $50 million.
Everything
for
else is
me.
cope. In fact, and I'll admit this right now, since I've retired, even I have to cope for the fact that I don't fight anymore. Because fighting is primal. You destroy somebody. It can't be explained or replicated or replaced because it's primal. It's built inside of every man to hurt another man to the point where he can no longer resist. And obviously I'm not a thug. I don't want to do it on the street, so I do it fair competition. Do it on the street, you can sideswipe a guy, you can stab a guy, whatever. That's not fair. It takes balls to get in there and have...
Andrew, you brought up the T word, right? You brought this up, so I'm going to have to address it. You have a 700-page indictment for human trafficking using the lover boy method, promising teenage girls the promise of marriage, and then taking away their movements and restricting their movements and getting them to work on webcam for up to 12 hours a day, where Tristan is caught on wiretap saying he's going to work these bees like slaves and take all their money, which you guys did take about 60 to 70% of the money. You admitted to selling drugs. You set up a scam casino in Romania called Las Vegas Casino, and it was anything but Las Vegas, And when the patrons finally won, you had them beaten up and robbed. Sounds like the T word to me. I mean, since you brought it up, I'm going to have to address it.
Have a fair fight. So now I have to cope. I do it too. Well, I can't. I don't fight anymore. I'm retired. So I'm just going to have to make $100 million a year, I guess. Because if I don't, how else can I replicate the feeling of being the man? So if I make $100 million a year, and if I buy 56 supercars, and if I have 40 properties, and a private jet, and a yacht, all these bitches. Don't listen, baby.
There we go, all these B's, right? All these material items. Isn't this all haram, Andrew? Isn't that your new big word that you use all the time? Huh?
All these hoes and a lie.
There he goes.
Why am I doing all that? I mean, if I was kicking the shit out of people, I probably wouldn't be as motivated. But I'm very motivated to make a shit bunch of money and do all this other stuff because I'm not kicking the shit out of people like I used to. And I'm still training every day. Imagine I didn't even train. Do you have any idea what kind of savage I'd be in my mind? Even being financially successful to try and exert your dominance is cope for fighting. It's all the same. Men are all the same. We're all intrinsically the same. That's how we work. Where did this start? Ice baths? Bro, ice baths. So gay. But I feel like I can extrapolate this to anything. What else do people do that's... In fact, it's all white people shit. Wait. It's coming to me now. This is the white man's fault. It's all coming to me. The African ancestors were right. Pan-Africanism. Dr. Umar. Because they're all...
Andrew, I have another question. When you were in the Romanian county jail, because that's where you were, it wasn't prison, it's the county jail in Romania, you claimed that you had cancer on your lung and that you needed to be released immediately. Now, since you left prison, all you do is smoke like a fiend 24 hours a day. Did the cancer just evaporate, Andrew? Just another Tate lie. Like, the Tates, there is no code with them whatsoever. They will say anything and do anything to get their way or to get your money. That's not what real men do. They don't pretend to have cancer so they can get out of jail. It's pathetic on every level.
Always the ones trying to cope. Maybe because us brothers, like, we're built with the intrinsic ability. The melanin allows us to see the white man's punches coming. And we can slip and we can hurt him. So because we have the intrinsic ability to fight, because black people can fight better, it's inside of us. So we feel like we don't have to cope as much. Whereas the white boy feels like he can't fight, so he has to cope. So to try and prove he's a tough guy, he does some dumb shit.
All right, since we're on the topic, the so-called white boys, every time he got knocked out, it was by a so-called white boy. And again, if you're just so intrinsic and you're just so tough and you're this and you're that and you're the top G.
Actually, years like
fight Jake Paul.
we gave him an offer.
You were offered the money.
There's
More
one
money
thing
than
to do.
you ever
10
made
mil
in
for
your entire
Andrew,
life
10
for
mil
a
for
4 or 5
Tristan,
round fight.
10 mil for
an
you,
opportunity
10
that the
mil for
average guy
me.
will never get in a million years.
But here's what they'll
you
say.
Turned it
I
down.
don't need this for the money. You're
'Cause
going to
you're
have to
afraid.
slap
'Cause you know you'll
$50 million
lose,
for me even to get out of bed. But
Like swim with sharks. Think about it. It's all starting to come together. Yeah, you can kick the fuck out of me. But look, I went swimming with sharks. I can still kick the fuck out of you. You're just an idiot. That's the worst cope ever. It doesn't prove anything. What does that prove? That you were lucky? That the shark wasn't particularly hungry? That's what you proved. Your life was not in your hands. There was no skill involved. You were just lucky that the shark was uninterested in tasting your pasty ass. That's it. I don't get it. Bro, let me tell you something. I almost went skydiving once. And I should have known.
I don't know who could sit here and watch him constantly and think that he's giving you
I've heard
good
of
life
take
advice
speech on
or
this.
take
You can
any
watch
of
it.
this serious.
I almost
You
went
You
skydiving
need a
once.
psychiatrist.
Walked into
This
place.
is painful 13 minutes of my life. Almost bad as my 5-mile runs.
Wait, something's up here. I've done a whole Tate speech on it and why I didn't jump out the plane. But basically, the realization came to me. Jumping out of a plane, the whole game is jump. I'm supposed to die. Ha ha ha, I didn't die. That's the game. Look, I was supposed to die, but I didn't. Once again, no skill involved, no power or masculine, no bravery. I didn't even call it bravery because it's just blind luck, dumb shit. Caving. What the fuck are you white people doing down in caves? There is nothing down there. War and dark. What the fuck are you doing? I've never seen a black person caving. I've never seen one. Being half white, half black gives me unique perspectives. You know, I can tell when it's white people shit. I can tell when it's black people shit. Bro. But basically all of it is cope for fighting. And I'll admit, there's some things that I wouldn't do that other people will do to try and prove to me they're a tough guy. And you and your flawed logic might think, well, Andrew, if you're so tough and you're so brave and he'll go caving and you won't, doesn't that make him braver than you? And my answer is no, because I can kick the living fuck out of him. So it doesn't.
Actually, years. We gave him an offer.
Well, here's my logic.
There's one thing to do. You can
10 mil for Andrew, 10 mil for Tristan,
took your
10 mil
assets,
for you,
it was under
10
$11
mil
million
for me,
in cash,
and
few cars.
But here's what they'll say.
I don't
Your
need
compound's
this for
been
the money.
estimated
You're gonna
to
have to
around
slap
$50 million for me even to get out of bed.
Paul
But
has offered you $10 million and Tristan $10 million to get into the ring and fight, and you chose to turn it down because you're afraid. You're afraid to take the steroid test leading up to the fight, and you know you're going to get knocked out and be knocked down a couple pegs in the social media world. So this whole video of you kicking the F out of everybody and you're the toughest guy on the planet and other people are trying to hide being a P by taking ice baths. The only person that's hiding and being a P is you. A trained professional fighter getting offered more money than they've ever made in their life to fight another pro for 4 or 5 minutes, 4 or 5 rounds of work, you turn the fight down. So in typical Tate fashion, he's just a walking contradiction and a liar. And that's what the Tates do. They're liars, they're human traffickers, they're pimps, they're pedophiles, and they couldn't tell the truth if it slapped them across the face. And let's add the word hypocrite on top of it.